Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another video slash episode on this podcast slash channel. Thank you so much for joining me today, whether you're watching, hey, or listening. Welcome back. And today, I want to talk about a feeling that honestly, I feel like only comes with age because when I think about this feeling, I'm like, I don't really remember thinking like this as a kid. Like, do you remember when you were a kid and you were so carefree and it's like if you did something or you had an experience or like we were just so less tied to things and people when we were a kid? Like, you know that how they say ignorance is bliss? Like the ignorance kids have really I feel like does make life a lot more fun. Like you think about how you were somewhere at a park and you found a kid that was like so cool to play with and you guys just played all day. You had so much fun and you were not worried about like you were like, "Oh, they're really fun. Like I hope I see them again at this park or maybe this, maybe that." But you're not really like, "Oh my god, like this means nothing if I never see them again." Like you just think of it like, "Oh, I remember her. She was fun and we had a fun day at the park." And then like you move on with your life. And I feel like that is something I admire about kids so much because as adults, I feel like after all the pain and trials and tribulations we've been through, not that kids don't go through trials and tribulations, but I think just like when you're older, you just carry a different like consciousness. I feel like it is so hard to look at situations and think like that was a loss or that was a fail instead of just looking at it as like that was an experience. It's just an experience, whether it was good or bad, and that's okay. And that's what I want to talk about today. Like, how many times have you guys had, you know, run ins with different people, whether it was like someone you thought was your friend or someone that, a relationship that you thought were going to start something like romantic. And I'm not talking long term, like you were friends with this person for years or you were dating this person for a while. It's just like I feel like as adults we have so many situations where if it doesn't work out or you turn out or it turns out that person ain't or whatever, like we get so mad and we're just like, what was that? Like I wasted my time. What did I even do that for? Yada yada. Like we get all in our feelings, which every feeling is valid. If you have negative feelings towards people because they had you messed up, duh. I'm not here to try to like counteract that. But it's just the thing is like when once we get those emotions out, hanging on to being like that was a waste or like they wasted my time, like what was the point of that, blah blah blah. But I had to realize to like make myself calm down because trust me, I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. I feel like I just like I'm just so empathetic towards people even if like they're new that I can definitely relate to having those feelings, but sometimes I just had to realize like it is just an experience and it's not time wasted because almost anytime you have situations like that, you learn something. Not everything is meant, I know everybody says this, but not everything is meant to stay or to work out. Like life is full of trials and tribulations. I'm only 21 and I've gathered that. And I also have to gather that it's pretty much going to be like this forever. Like I feel like life is always ebbing and flowing. Like you could be at your happiest and something's still going to happen. It might not be dramatic, it might not be in your relationship, it could be at your job, whatever. Like I just realized, like Janae said, you got to keep going. However, this feeling of accepting things as experiences, not wins or losses or regret, I don't always feel this way. I'm feeling like this right now because I've moved past situations, but I have definitely felt like this a whole lot in the past year. Hey, if you are new here, I've been single for over a year, haven't been in a new relationship since my breakup, May 2023. But I have talked to a couple guys. Only one of them made it on a date. The other ones, y'all know the feels. You get in the feels with them late night FaceTime calls. Like what? The other ones were more so just like company I got excited for. They gave me this impression that we were going to meet or that it was going to become something further, and it didn't. That's why I'm still single to this day. I really have experienced this feeling over and over. And I'm not trying to play like oppression Olympics, but sometimes I kind of feel like what I've been through when it comes to just enjoying someone's company and having the potential of like what it is almost worse than me actually meeting all these people and getting like that physical connection, because I don't know if I'm just delusional, but like the potential, when I haven't had a relationship, I haven't had a physical connection in so long, it's like the potential gets me so excited. I'm a very closed off soul. I'm not really a dater. I've tried I've tried a dating app like for real for the first time in my life very recently. So as far as like talking to people, it's really just like what comes to me or what I just feel like is right in responding to. I don't reply to all my DMs. I don't follow everyone back. Sometimes I don't even like check the guys who follow me. So it's like when I do, I'm like, I pick you. And then they put all these ideas in my head like, oh, we planned this day. They really feel me. They say, like, even though they haven't met me, they've never met someone like me. My favorite compliment, because we love physical compliments. We love that. But I feel like to have a deep connection, you gotta like the person. So I would get all these, I've never met someone who thinks like you. Your mind is beautiful. Your soul is beautiful. Like, this is crazy. I've never this, and that. And I eat it up. I do. Because I feel like those compliments beyond my physical space just really, and like I appreciate it, because as you've seen, if you watch my videos, I've came a very long way. I have not always been this calm, considerate, self-controlled soul, and I'm still always not. Sometimes you got me fucked up, okay? But I always try my best. And like I said, because I'm really not used to the dating and to the talking to people and always talking to someone, it's like I focus my energy on this one person that I let in, because I just don't like I don't know, I don't want to talk to y'all. Look at the other options. And so it's like when I do let someone in slightly, get excited about the connection, and then it's always fell through, I would just feel like, what the is this point? I'm spiritual but not religious. To me, like God, universe, angels is all kind of like the same idea. So I just be like, what are these opportunities coming to me for? Getting me like a little excited, like, oh, like haven't I really like feel like I forgot what intimacy feels like a physical connection with someone, because it's been like over a year. And then also in that past year, I've been healing from sexual trauma, which is obviously tainted what I think about intimacy a lot. So it's just like when I have these opportunities come to me and like I get excited and then they always fall through, I'm like, literally, what is the point? Because when I'm not talking to someone, I just be chilling by myself, get into that bag, creating. Like, so I'm just like, I really don't understand what the point is for like these people I don't even really end up meeting or don't even get a fair shot with. And the last time one of these short term company boys made me cry, which I've talked about in other videos, like embrace your negative feelings, is a lot of times when I get upset about these situations not working out, it doesn't even have to do with the specific guy. Because, like I said, it's very short term. It's not like I've met them yet. Like, I don't truly care for them yet. It's just, I get excited from the potential. And because I'm used to so much disappointment, because it started even before this year of healing, like, I was very disappointed in my last relationship, like just going through abuse from someone that I thought loved me, and then breaking free and being like, ah, like I broke free, where's the reward? And then it's like I have been rewarded with a lot of peace and healing, but then it's like, where is the reward in the romantic space since I've done all this work? Do y'all know where it is, where it's at? I just feel like I just started to feel like, dang, I'm like, all these little like all this company that I have, and I've only went on a date with one guy. We'll say it was like one out of the five guys I've talked to this year. Only went on a date with one. But besides that, I'm like, I never get a fair shot. I'm like, I never actually see them. because some BS always happens. I've been canceled on the day of the date, or just like other stuff like that more than once. Um, so I'm just like, when I get excited, because like I said, I live a pretty boring life. Like, I don't be going on real dates. I don't really like clever parties. So it's like, when I tell people close to me, like, oh, I'm talking to this guy, like, we're gonna go on a date. I'm so excited. And then, like, it's like, just kidding. 2 days later, I have to be like, oh, never mind. He stood me up, or he said this and that. It's just like, in myself, but also in telling people when I was just excited 2 days ago. I know everybody here knows that feeling, and it is a terrible feeling to have. It just feels like a failure. It just feels like, oh, I can't even get it started. Like, I thought it was starting, and then it's like, girl, no. And I'm just like, oh, like, it's like I feel like I've taken so many little L's when I try to dip my feet back into intimacy. And I'm really just like, what is the point? Like, I just feel like a failure. I'm like, I can't even get a cute date. Like, I can't even just have fun. Okay, what if I just get a cute date and then after I'm not feeling him? Like, what? Nah, I'm playing. That's not even in me. I would never use someone in that way. But I'm just saying, I'm like, dang, I'm like, I can't have a little fun. Like, I can't see a boy in person. Okay, let me stop. But yeah, it really just makes made me feel like I keep failing in love, because I'm like, my last relationship was a fail. Well, actually, it wasn't a fail, because obviously it wasn't meant to work. I wasn't meant to marry and go on and be with someone who was abusing me and caused me all this trauma. So look, I gotta clock myself right now for using that language. But I felt like that was like a real one, because that was obviously like a real thing. And then it's like I felt like I have all these mini ones, which is also really annoying, because it's like, yeah, they ended, and like almost all of them ended on my terms. So it would just like confuse me even more, because I would be like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm like, I'm not giving a boy who stood me up like a second chance. And I know like there's different reasons, y'all. Like, it, trust me, it like the reasons were not excusable. Everything I've done in this past year, it was like, if I would have accepted that, I would have settled or like lowered my standards for someone, like I said, I don't even know yet. So it just really confused me, because I'm like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm protecting myself, keeping that crown high, like, even if it hurts, or even if I really did want to just freaking go on a date. So I'm just like, why do I feel like such a failure? And it sucks. Like, in some of my videos, like the embrace your negative feelings, sometimes it does just suck. Like, I don't have to, you don't always have to think of a bigger picture. Sometimes you could just be like, wow, this sucks. Don't want to hear that I'm closer. It just, it hurts, and I'm confused, and I don't understand. But once we're ready to move out of this space, you got to think a little bit like this. Even though me, and I'm sure many other people would love to have it as like, I can just stay by myself, do my own thing until I meet someone that is this, this, and that, and that's it. And it's just like, I feel like everyone would love that story. Like, I can just chill by myself. I don't have to go through all these things. But like, honestly, when you think about it, that's life. And then I really had to think about it. I'm like, all these situations honestly did help me in some way. Not the specific boys, but it's just like the situation taught me something. It would teach me unhealed things about myself. Like, I remember starting to be in these little situations and just like automatically overthinking and being like, does he even want to talk to me? Like, wait, I would be like, he lives far. I'm like, wait, why am I getting excited? Like, I would start making up excuses of like why these guys really didn't mess with me. And then like they would call like 2 minutes later, and I'll be like, oh, hey, oh, he did call me. But I realized that because of going through abuse, a lot of times I have these feelings, feeling like I'm not worthy of love, and like people being nice to me and people actually wanting to date me. And I was like, oh, see, if I would have just been by myself the whole time, I wouldn't have learned that. And now I learned that, and I learn how to combat. Well, it's a work in progress, but I'm learning how to combat those feelings in real time, being like, stop, you are worthy. Relax. No one said those negative things except for you, so don't project that onto the other person. Like, girl, chill. Chill out. And I would have never learned that if I didn't have these stupid short term companions. I've pretty much always dated someone my age. I've had my fair share of talking to people a little bit out of my age range. Like, I got stood up on a date by one guy who's 2 years younger. I had a talking stage with this one guy who was like 4 or 5 years older than me. I learned that it don't fucking matter what age they are. I kind of already knew that, but like I was able to see that in real time. Like, the age doesn't really matter. I never thought it did because, like I said, all my exes are pretty much my age. But like, it really just depends on if you have common sense or not, and common sense isn't common anymore. So it really don't matter if you're older or younger. I talked to this one guy that I was talking to around when I started YouTube, and he put me on to a different app on how to edit my videos better, which like cut my editing time in half. And I had seen this app like on social media before, but I just never really gave it a try. But because he said he used it, I was really like, well, frick, like I'll just try it. And I tried it and it works perfectly for me. Like, that's like a really like small thing, but it's still something where I'm like, like I tried that because, I meet different people who put me onto different things, and like, not everything has to be a win or a loss. Sometimes it's just an experience, and your experiences shape you, which is why I'm so thankful for all of them, all of my experiences, no matter how stupid they are. Like, think about a memory. Because, like I said, it's not even just romantic. Think about a memory that you've had where you're like, oh my God, that was a wild night. That was a crazy night. That night was so funny, so full of love and laughs, but I'm not cool with those people anymore. Like, at this age, when I think of stuff like that, in maybe like high school, I graduated high school 4 years ago, it doesn't bother me because I'm just like, to me, it doesn't really matter that those friendships failed. I still just like cherish that memory, and we're like, oh, those were my people for the night. It's still a funny story to tell. It's still whatever. Like, I think about my senior year homecoming. My senior year homecoming was like months before the world went on lockdown, and there was this big girl boyfriend group. It was me, my date's friends, all that. We had so much fun at homecoming, and then after we went to Denny's, and I like hung out with that group a lot in senior year. Like, that group really made my senior year really fun, like what it is. Literally my last high school experience, because like the last half of the year I didn't have that. Um, I'm not dating that guy anymore. I'm really not cool with any of the girls anymore. Some of those guys turned out to be weirdos, or I just don't talk to them because they were like friends with the person I was dating. I have one girl, she knows who she is, who was in that group, who's been my friend since I was like, hey, I still have her. We locked in like this. She and some of my other story times. But it's like, to me, that doesn't bother me. Like, I don't, at this point in my life, and sometimes it just takes time to look back at things like that. Because I'm like, at this point in my life, I don't really think about how I'm not friends with those people or associated with those people anymore. To me, it was just a fun night. And I'm like glad that I had those people at that time and in that experience. I'm thankful because it's like thinking it inside out. It's one of those little memories in my head that is still positive. Like, I don't really care about how all the people turned out. And like I said, I think a lot of it comes with time. But if you need to put it in perspective, like I just did, like think of a memory like that maybe happened 4 years ago that you're not really emotionally attached to anymore, that you don't really care about, and be like, one day all the stuff I'm tripping over right now, I'll feel the exact same way. I'll just look back at it, I'll cherish those memories, and it doesn't really matter. Like, I also think about the people I was around the only year I did college. I was with um, a man who turned out to be my first heartbreak, first gave me trust issues, all of that. Another girl who was friends with him who's fake. Like, I hung out with like these people in college, and that year in college I still think was really fun. It was like my first year of like freedom. I had a lot of new experiences, and I'm not really worried about like that I was like, ugh, it was with him or it was with her. It was just like an experience, and I'm still thankful for those people at that time. It's not a win or loss, baby. But when the breakup first happened, or when I first stopped being friends with those fake hoes, I was probably like, like when I would look at back at those memories, I'd be like, because it was with them. But now they healed me. Just realizes it's an experience, and I'm thankful for the experience. It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective, baby. And I'm not one of these people here to force toxic positivity on you or force you to think in this perspective right now. If someone still has you fucked up or if you still are upset, absolutely feel those feelings. That is one of the worst things I hate about internet advice is like toxic positivity or being like, you need to forgive, you need to accept. I'm here to validate anyone's feelings who's watching this. You don't need to do shit. Absolutely nothing. Okay? You should absolutely feel your feelings, dissect them, figure out why you feel that way. But time will heal. And when time heals, try to think of a perspective like this because it will help. I feel like when you're not able to gain this perspective on stuff and this grasp eventually, sometimes it can turn into resentment and we don't want that. Okay. Resentment makes us wrinkly. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. And like I said, I'm not saying resentment in the way of like you still can't feel negatively about people who hurt you or, still dislike, like I said, people who hurt you. But I'm just saying I would hate for anyone to have resentment or that negative hold on some things that were positive, even though the outcome wasn't positive or the people aren't positive right now. Like, think about when old people be telling stories. They be telling stories about their ex-boyfriends and ex-girlfriends and they just be talking. They're not still like, I hate that bitch. Da, 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 da. You know? Shout out to the old heads and the advice. But yeah, guys, I think that us in the society, especially around my age group in like 20s, there's a lot of pressure to have the perfect job, the perfect relationship, your own place, your own car, your own this and that. Or if you do have that stuff, you have to have this type, this. Like, there's so much pressure on us. But just remember, even if you're older than your 20s, like, that's not what this life is about. There's always going to be trials, there's always going to be tribulations. And I just hope that when the time passes and the feelings waver a little bit, that we can all kind of look at it from this experience. Like, it made me who I am. Okay. It's maybe it feels like an L or it didn't work out, but there's a reason for everything. Maybe even if I can't gather it yet, because some of these short term things I really can't gather like what that was for. I don't know if anybody else has an answer, but like sometimes you really can't. But I'm just like, it was an experience. I talked to someone different. I know someone who thinks like you. I've experienced like it's just all about the experience. And yeah, I hope I hope y'all are catching what I'm putting down. Thank you guys again for listening to me yap, talk your ear off. I hope I said something helpful that you can take away from this video, because a reason why I make videos like this is because I like videos like this. Like I said, I've been on a long healing journey the past year. I love finding videos that just make me feel seen or advice that I can actually take into consideration. So I hope I can be that for you guys. If you guys want to hear more of my yapping, you guys should follow me on TikTok or Instagram at Alicia Milan. I use those daily. YouTube I can only use a couple times a week. But yeah. Thank you guys for making it to the end of this video/episode, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.